let's talk Quinta Brunson. Let's go to the Betty Boop backlash. I call it blacklash. Let's go here, y'all. Once again, white folk are going to be white folk. Let's listen to them talk about Betty Boop. Okay? Let's once again, you have to do reconnaissance, y'all. Urban people, you have to do reconnaissance on these people so you can understand how they think, how they process information and how they see things from everything. You have to do reconnaissance. You have to. It's tantamount to do reconnaissance when it comes to, certain tropes being pushed and certain narratives and certain ideologies. You have to do reconnaissance. You have to. Okay, that's the first thing before we go to war with anybody. You must do reconnaissance. Yes? Okay? Yes. Let's go here. You ready? Matter of fact, let me see what Homeboy had to say too. We're gonna do some recon work real quick. We're gonna do some recon work today. Let me see what he had to say as well. If he brought it up, just get it's it's a matter of time before they bring it up. Nope. Give it time. See, they're already mad about the black woman. Give it time when the Betty Boop thing gets more legs, because he can't help himself. But let's go ahead and get here real quick. Where'd it go? Okay, let's go here. You ready? Once again, we're doing reconnaissance. I want you to see how they think. Listen to them. Okay, let's go.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, I think a lot of time most people forget what the heck it's about.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather you say Happy Juneteenth to me than Happy Memorial Day. That's all.
You're the wrong color for that, sir.
Oh.
They can't help themselves, y'all. Do you understand how important? Now, I've heard people say the argument that black folk always insert themselves in white folk lives. No, we don't. White folk ain't worried about y'all. Yes, they are. They ain't thinking about y'all like that. Yes, they are. They cannot help themselves. What the fuck does Juneteenth have to do with what the hell y'all talking about? Everything's a joke to them when it comes to us. They cannot help themselves. Once again, we are doing reconnaissance. My man Fatal J is in the building. We're doing recon work tonight. Let's go.
Oh, well.
Unless are you clear?
You don't know what I am.
That's right. You're Betty Boop.
You don't know how to identify them. That's actually one story we haven't talked about yet. I don't know if you guys want to get into that just before we get into that.
We need Polly on the show for that, for sure.
Lord, because I don't know how deep into that Andre's been in the last few days, but yeah, the Betty Boop news. Supposedly they're trying to justify this nonsense that I don't think I ever heard until the internet, and that was supposedly that Betty Boop was based on some black performer.
Yeah,
but the problem with no, it's not true, because the problem with that is the performer that they're saying that she's based on was 12 years old when Betty Boop came out.
But she got sued.
No. What you're confusing on this issue, Paul, I think, and I don't want to speak to what your understanding completely is, but the woman who it was based on was white. I think her name was Kane. Oh, I can't remember her first name. Last name was Kane.
Once again, we're here to do reconnaissance. We're not here to educate these people. We're not here to say, no, you got that wrong. We're not here to do none of that. We're just here to gather intel. That's it. That's all.
Working on it.
And she was the singer that the animator did say, yes, we did use her as one of the multiple references for this character.
Helen Kane.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
One of the multiple.
Yeah, and she said, and the reason that the people have glommed onto the idea that Betty Boop was a whitewashing of a black singer in real life is that singer that it was based on did adopt some of the stylings, the boop boopy doo, from a black singer of the era named Babyface something. I can't remember all the details.
Babyface Malone. No,
yeah, it gets so complicated that what's happened though.
No, it's really not. So the white woman saw the little black girl as she got older. By the time the little black girl got older, her act was getting kind of stale, kind of getting a little bit long in the tooth. The white girl comes around looking for a new angle to promote herself, whatever. See the black girl perform, bites the shit, and then we're off to the races. Okay, that's pretty much what happened in a nutshell. But once again, we are here to gather intel. We're not here to correct these people. Okay, this is not class. We're not in class, y'all. We have behind enemy lines with the night vision goggles and shit. We just here to gather intel. That's it.
Is you've got people that are just saying, no, this was a whitewash.
Right.
And it really wasn't, because the artists and animators that did it.
Well, my understanding, is that it's based on this Helen woman, because the woman that does the voice, or did the voice until she passed away, what, 5-6 years ago it was? No, maybe a little more. Anyway, she based the voice on this woman. That's how I knew this for years, because the reason I know this is they brought her back for Who Framed Roger Rabbit to do the voice of Betty Boop. And for those who don't know, it's the same actress that's in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation who plays William Hickey's wife. The lady with the cat in the
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's Betty Boop. That is the original Betty Boop. She came back for Roger Rabbit to do the voice, and when
she was the original Betty Boop. Once again, we're just here to do reconnaissance, y'all. Baby Esther, that was her name. Baby Esther. Once again, they had this when she was a little girl. I mean, they literally had her dressed up like a flapper girl. You know what I'm saying? They sexualized this young lady, right? Let's see. Yeah, she's from Chicago. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. When Helen Kane sued Fleischer Studios, claiming that they had appropriated her persona for the voice of the cartoon character, the studios defended themselves by arguing that Kane's style of singing, including an infantile voice and uses of the phrase boop 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 doop, was not her own invention and was in fact inspired by Jones. The court ruled against Kane. Okay. Jones, child entertainer, managed by her parents. She was a trained scat singer, dancer, acrobat who performed regularly at nightclubs in Harlem. Okay. In her act, Baby Esther danced, made funny faces, rolled her eyes, and most famously interpolated wordless phrases such as boo boo boop, and wah wah wada wada, and doo 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 doo. Okay. She had a booking agent in 1924. Blah 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 blah. Toured Europe in the 30s. Esther had already been honored along with Josephine Hall as representatives of both African Americans and the United States of America. This was when she was in Europe. Okay. Her career began in the 20s when she won first prize at the Charleston Dancing Contest in Chicago at the age of 6. Okay. Russian-American theatrical manager Lou Bolton saw her performance and took her on, with her first performance purportedly being in a Chicago Review opera versus Charleston. Okay. Jones was rarely called Baby Esther while performing, most commonly going by the names Lil Esther and Little Esther. Originally, she was billed as Farina's kid sister, but was later known as the miniature Florence Mills. And Esther had started her career impersonating Florence Mills. Mills was noted for her light, bright voice and use of wordless vocalizations such as Tootie Toot. Another black woman. Huh. Okay, another black woman. Okay. Interesting. Okay, 1928. She was booked for a movie tone through William Morris for MGM. That's under Lou Wasserman. Them Jew cats, Lou Wasserman and MGM, the same guys that gave Clarence Avant the job of keeping the niggas in line when they got out of pocket. Okay. Esther toured Europe in 1929 when her age was variously reported as 7 or 10. Okay. She played for King Alfonso and Queen Victoria Eugenie. In Sweden, King Gustav and the Queen came to the theater especially to see her. In France, Germany, and other countries, Esther also gave private performances for the nobility and high society. Right? She performed in France at the Moulin Rouge, was known as the miniature Josephine Baker. Lord have mercy. Do we have old stuff of her? Music. I don't want to get hit with the music. Okay. So that was her. This is what they had her dressing like as a little girl. Okay. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. This is why. This. Don't worry. We're gonna walk this whole thing down. How we got here. Okay, that's the inspiration for Baby Esther, Florence Mills. Okay. Look at this. For permitting a 7-year-old manager and booker of a 7-year-old pleaded guilty for permitting a 7-year-old girl to appear publicly in a dance and song act without obtaining a permit. He was fined $100 in special sessions. The two pleaded guilty to the charge. Both men were arrested. This child was 7 years old. The dad was arrested, held for show for allowing Esther Jones, 7, colored, to give singing and dancing imitations of the late Florence Mills in the Everglades, a nightclub. Y'all, her father and manager yesterday were held in $500 bail by Magistrate Francis X. McQuaid for a hearing Tuesday. This baby was 7 years old. All right, let's get back to this. This is why we're here. Once again, we're here to do recon. Let's go.
Talked about it. She said that they were talking about this singer that it was based on. And she's like, so yeah, I just took that voice and I did the voice. And it's like, she just rolls into the voice like she does. And it was just like, that's how I did it. And
it's just jazz borrowing. I mean, in other words, the girl that they say.
It's just jazz borrowing. You see how they just reduce everything we do? It's just jazz borrowing. We're just borrowing jazz. Okay.
Actually borrowed some of her scat boop style from a singer named Baby Esther, I think, who is black. But the visual design was always modeled on Helen Kane, which is what Fleischer and Matwick, the original animators, said. So it's a stretch and a half. You know, there's degrees of separation between the original singer that Kane was mimicking somewhat or borrowing. You know, in jazz, I mean, borrowing is common if you know anything about jazz at all. So it's not whitewashing. So I think it's become mainstream to say everything's being whitewashed, and
they like to say, oh, they stole this from the black community, they stole this from whatever community. It's like, what about inspiration? Does inspiration never fall into this at all? Right?
Well, it's just like the Star Wars ripoff. Yeah, exactly.
No, I was just gonna say, because like, yeah, you know, they used to say like Elvis.
Once again, we're not here to correct these people. We're just here to gather intel. That's it. That's all. In and out.
Stole the music from the black community, right? Well, turn around, you go to 40 years ago, Michael Jackson was stealing the moves from the streets, literally from the kids. Do you want to go after him for that?
Yeah,
I'm sure
that is the dumbest argument ever. Okay, that's a dumbass argument. And had he said he stole moves from James Brown, you might have a case, because James Brown influenced everybody, you know, after him. And then before him, you had the Cab Callaways, you had the Nicholas brothers. So there's points in history and time when it comes to black dance and performance that you can pinpoint, okay, they started this. This is the new wave. This is the new wave here and there. But white folk don't inspire nobody. In fact, they've never inspired anybody.
Or better yet, K-pop is derived.
K-pop is derived from Michael. That's why I said K-pop is basically Michael Jackson's church for them. Yeah,
so, manga is derived from Uncle Scrooge and Karl Barks comics.
If you want a compendium of dance moves that Michael borrowed, you watch the Little Prince clip.
Oh yeah, Fosse.
Fosse as the snake.
Okay, Bob Fosse. So now they want to. So it wasn't James Brown. Now you want to say Bob Fosse was the inspiration for Michael Jackson. You see how they do that shit? Okay, so I'll do you one. We'll go over some Bob Fosse. This is what they're referencing right here. That's what they're referencing. Okay? Don't get me wrong, Bob Fosse, you know, he did his thing. But to reduce the influences of Michael down to, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows James was pretty much everybody's dad after him. Those old audition tape. Matter of fact, okay, wait. Let me see, Michael Jackson. We're going to find it. We're going to find it. Young Michael. Oh, shit, come on, caps lock. Now, once again, I'm going to ask you guys, where is the Bob Fosse influence when Mike first comes on the scene? Okay, so this is Lil Mike, right? Once again, there's no Bob Fosse influence, not for a very, very long time. His influence was James Brown, period, point blank. Don't argue me, don't debate me. There's no Bob Fosse here. This is all James Brown. Oh, what song is he singing? Oh, that's James Brown, huh? Okay, fair enough. Come on, get the. This is all James. Here we go. Who's that? That ain't no damn Bob Fosse. Who's it? Who's he dancing like? Ain't no damn Bob Fosse. White folk will do anything to diminish us and uplift them. Hell, I'll give you credit. This is Billie Jean-esque. I'll give you that. But there's no Bob Fosse here. Matter of fact, Mike pretty much dances like this until right before that first album. Right? Okay, let's get back. Once again, we are here for reconnaissance only. We're not here to educate these people.
It's almost 100% borrowing.
Yeah, it's a lot of popping and locking.
It's quite not shocking per se, but
wait, Barbara, where you at? Thank you for this. She said, I cannot comprehend this type of understanding. We're just here to listen and learn. That's all.
If you bring up the picture that I've got here, this is the Esther.
This is the one that everybody keeps talking about. Yeah.
And yeah, it looks pretty good. Now that being said, first of all, this is one of my pet peeve. Here's my pet peeve, Chris.
All right.
That there's a million events that happen that cause me to learn about shit that I really don't want to learn anything about. So 9/11 caused a whole bunch of white people to learn about Islam in a way that we really don't give a fuck. Like,
are you paying attention to how he's framing it? Pay attention, y'all.
I did not want to be an expert on the Quran, but suddenly, if you're commenting on it and having a debate, I got to learn it. Like, geez, and I read it, like crying out loud. I have better things to do with my time than learning Islam. And then this pops up. Really? I got to learn about Betty Boop to be able to have a cogent conversation with someone on this topic suddenly?
You know,
it touches none of our lives.
Yeah.
I had that feeling when I did that video on Barbie and the history of Barbie, and I feel like I'm one of the world's foremost leading experts in Barbie right now because it's a information condensed video.
Well, we got lucky that
and only 10% of everything I learned is actually in the video on the history of Barbie.
Right.
That's pretty
just
typical,
here for reconnaissance,
right? Like,
y'all.
At least with Barbie, there was a connection with He-Man to where you had a jumping off point. With Betty Boop, here's the thing, and I feel bad because true, there's somewhat of a Popeye connection, but we ain't done a Popeye video since the first video I edited. Go all the way back to our Popeye Jendi Tartakovsky video. So, like, yeah, that's the only in you have with this.
I have a new version of that one. I mean,
I have no idea how much you know about Betty Boop. But yeah.
Well, I mean, and also you're dealing with one of the things that I find quite humorous is that for the most part, the black community is already suffused with white DNA. Almost everybody.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. Wouldn't it be the other way around? Wouldn't it be the other way around that white people are infused with the DNA of black people? It's the other way around, right? But once again, observe and report. That's all we're doing.
It's just that it's a community that has decided that they'd rather identify with their, with one side of their history as opposed to the other.
The side that they never tell, that they always whitewash and suppress and hide and rewrite and lie, and that side is that what once again, we're just here to observe and report. It's very important you keep an ear on how these people, let's continue.
And here we've got a woman who I guess is allegedly black, but she looks like she has got plenty of white genes in her background. It's a non-issue except for, I guess, people who want to troll the internet.
What do you think about this for a minute, Paul? And I agree that there's room for disagreement on this. And if Paulie was on, he and I would disagree on it also. And that's fine, because it's such a tertiary issue. Who cares, right? I'm not a part of Betty Boop fandom. But the character started out as a dog. She was drawn like a poodle initially when the character first appeared. So why anybody's fighting?
That's true. She was, I believe, a dog for her first appearance.
Like
yes.
a poodle. So
when you say a dog, like, are we like?
Now we're getting to it being inspired by dogs. This is where we're going. Don't worry. We're here to observe and report. My man Fatal J, thank you for the 5 brethren. I used to be on that show until the chat told them I was more entertaining and they need to make me a full-time panelist. See? Yeah, they all of them, Big J, all of them. Him, Gary from Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Cannell, all of the Yellow Flash. Fuck all of them. All fucking clowns, man. They are the prime examples of male white fragility.
Like how Mickey Mouse is a mouse.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, right.
Yeah, anthropomorphic. Yeah.
Anthropomorphic.
Fine, I
yeah,
see.
yeah.
I thought like wondering.
And they just dropped the
Initially,
dog ears and gave her regular ears, and I think she had a different nose or something like that. Yeah.
So she evolved, but it would be like Goofy becoming a person eventually.
Kind of like he did.
I wonder when these things, like what's going on at the source, Paul or anybody, when they say, okay, we're going to cast against type, they'll look similar, but like when they did, it's almost the same thing as the original Ariel from The Little Mermaid. You know what I mean? Like when they cast the black girl. Now, from what I understand, the woman here, this is the woman that's in the remake or this updated story about Betty Boop, right? The woman on screen.
No, this is Betty.
Okay, so this is how we got here, because Quinta Brunson, her own production company, secured the rights to do the Betty Boop thing. So shout out to her, right? She's gonna play Betty Boop, and white folk are losing their minds. Okay, white folk are losing their damn minds.
Quinta Brunson is drawing up something iconic. On May 20th, Variety reports that Quinta is set to play Betty Boop in a feature film adaptation she's developing of the iconic character. And this isn't just a simple reboot. The Abbott Elementary creators production company Fifth Chance Productions has partnered with Mark Flesher, the grandson of Betty Boop creator Max Flesher, for the project.
The same Fleischer Studios that beat the case against Helen Kane because Helen said, no, I did it. And they're like, no, you didn't, because we know where you got it from. Right? See how that works? Huh.
According to the outlet, the film will trace the origin and evolution of Betty Boop through the perspective of her creator, diving into the creative pressures of building one of the world's first animated icons.
Okay, so we can safely assume they're going to show Max Fleischer get his inspiration or then reference or mention Baby Esther at some point as the inspiration for Betty Boop. Okay. I'm okay with that.
And what happens when that character takes on a life of her own? Quinta writes in a statement to the outlet, Betty Boop is one of our nation's most beloved cartoon characters, yet somehow still remains pleasantly niche. Adding that after learning more about Betty's creation, she realized there was a much deeper story to tell.
I'm here for it. I think she's going to do good.
If you're not aware, Quinta Brunson was just cast to play Betty Boop in the upcoming movie. And some people are big mad about it. Can you guess which people are big mad about it?
Betty Boop herself was not a black cartoon character. The argument is that a lot of the voice and mannerisms associated with Betty Boop likely originated from black performers first.
People are mad because they don't want to see Betty Boop being played by somebody black. I was always under the impression that Betty Boop was light-skinned.
Today we're making Betty Boop macarons filled with dragon fruit buttercream while we have a little history lesson.
You know Betty Boop. Big eyes, short dress, the original cartoon bombshell, even before Jessica Rabbit.
Did you know that Betty Boop was based on Helen Kane, also known as the Boop Oopa Doop Girl?
Okay, so she don't know what the fuck she talking about. Damn, bitch. Okay, you don't know no better? Okay, terrible. Let's go to Variety. All right. She, once again, her company is doing this. So shout out to her. Okay. She will develop and star in the film adaptation. Let's see. Okay. Grandson of Betty Boop creator Max Fleischer. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Tracing the origins. Okay. I'm here for it. Added Mark Fleischer, when Quinta first approached me with the unique concept of a movie about the relationship of my grandfather Max and his creation, Betty Boop, I was breathtaking. Quentin's soul embodies Betty's love of life, intelligence, humor, sassiness, and compassion that the relationship between her and as Betty and Max burst into life at its mere mention. Okay. So, created by Max in 1930, Betty Boop appeared in more than 100 cartoons during her original run, evolving from a poodle-like nightclub singer into the fully human jazz age icon recognized around the world. Okay. Her global licensing footprint spans fashion, beauty, collectibles, and contemporary brand collaborations, positioning her among the most successful licensed classic characters in entertainment history. Okay. Max, the grandson, serves as chairman and CEO of Fleischer Studios. The company's exclusive worldwide licensing agency, Global Icons, continues to expand the Betty Boop brand across international markets. Okay. Okay. Once again, we're back to doing intel. We're just here for recon, y'all.
Boop. That's
right. Max was he animated the Superman animated hand-drawn animations. You're right. So I forgot about that.
This is Carol, or not Carol.
This is
we just
Jones.
here for reconnaissance, y'all. Observe and report.
Woman that
Babyface Esther.
Pardon me?
Babyface
Esther. Yeah, that is allegedly.
Okay, for sure. Listen, I'm out June 12th. I'm out June 12th, bro. So we gonna be on the same schedule for sure. Yes, indeed.
The origin of Betty Boop that then became the cartoon character.
Okay. Well, and Helen Kane, we should show a picture of her too, if we really want to be fair, because that's the one the animator said he copied.
Well, that's the one I showed first, but yeah.
Yeah, but nevertheless, this wasn't
that's not what happened. So you see how you just lied there, right? They just told you the movie will be about the relationship between Max and the inspiration for Betty Boop, which will come from Baby Esther. Once again, we just here to observe and report. Now the Mexican guy's going to jump on real quick. I want y'all to hear him.
For the last 100 years almost, Betty Boop as a cartoon character has been a pasty white little doll, right? A little white girl. There was a conscious effort on someone's behalf to say, we're going to cast against type and it's going to be a black girl. Now, from what I understand, the black girl, she's co-producer. This is something she wants to do.
Yeah, this is her property, actually.
Well, and I think, it's involved with, here's the other thing is I think that whoever owns the rights to Betty Boop, they're probably on borrowed time.
They signed off on it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm saying they're probably they're down to like the last few years before Betty Boop goes into the public domain.
Yes, you're right.
See, that's the other thing. So they want to beat anybody to the punch because what's the first thing that's going to happen when Betty Boop goes into the public domain? We're going to get a fucking Betty Boop horror movie.
Yeah.
And we're going to get a Betty Boop horror movie.
Yes, it's 99 years. So that's what happened with Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, all these animated characters. 99 years. Once that time limit is up, any one of us can do our own version of Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, Donald Duck, whatever the case may be. So that's why you get all these horror movies. Blood and Honey 1 and 2 was pretty good. You had the Popeye movie, the killer movie. Did y'all? Some of y'all are not aware. Me and Jay, we own this shit, but this is what they're talking about when the licensing deal ends, or the trademark, not the trademark, but it's the trademark and the licensing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There was a Popeye. This is what I'm talking about. Popeye. It was a horror flick. Popeye horror flick. Yeah, Popeye the Slayer Man. This was it on Netflix? I forget what it is on. But this is what people are doing now. They're taking all these IPs. Once 99 years hits, that's when that shit runs out, because that copyright protection runs out. And all these film guys are like, okay, now we can make our own versions of these characters we grew up with, and they're turning them into horror. We got that. Now we got Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I like the second one better than the first one, but this is what they're doing now. Once these copyright protections run out, this is what they're doing now. Listen, any one of us can do this now. Any one of us. There's nothing stopping us from creating our own content using these formerly copyrighted protected characters. Any one of us can do this on our own.
You know, you're the first person I ever shown this place to.
And why am I so special?
Because soon will be Christopher.
Okay, so in this universe, Christopher abandons Winnie and the animals, and they get mad. They're mad at Chris for abandoning them, and they turn murderous, and they lose their minds because of the abandonment issues, and they can murder everybody. They want revenge on Chris, right?
We should be close now.
We're not going to find them.
We will. Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, we were friends for many years, and they're out there.
Christopher, we need to leave. Now.
I really need to find out what's happening there, okay?
This place is kind of cool. Did you say it has a pool?
We need to go. There's... Laura's dead. There's someone else outside. What was that?
Okay, so now you get the gist of it. That's what they're referring to. And the second one, they ended up killing Piglet. They killed Piglet, man, and yeah, the second was pretty good. But this is what they're referring to. 99 years is the max that these copyrights extend to. After that, it's public. So people have been waiting years to get their hands on some of this IP and put their own little twist to it. So once again, there's nothing stopping none of us. Any one of us can do this exact same shit these folks are doing with these same characters here. We can put our own twist on this shit, okay? Let's get back to the intel. Let's get back to the intel.
And we're gonna get a black Betty Boop, a Hispanic Betty Boop,
Winnie the Pooh kills
Winnie the
Betty
Boop.
And you're probably already getting. There's probably already been plenty of Tijuana Bibles featuring Betty Boop. I'm certain of it.
Now, in this particular case, this is a very talented. I'm trying to remember her name. She's so talented. I forget
her name too. But
she's doing the movie.
Yeah, she's the one who's also producing it.
Yes.
This is a new superpower in Hollywood. She's got the show, the sitcom,
Abbott
about
Elementary,
the school, the black school, Elementary.
Abbott Elementary.
Abbott Elementary.
I was gonna say, you used to talk about it all the time. I thought.
Yeah, the first season was absolutely brilliant, and she's funny. This is an extremely talented person. It's one of the reasons why, apart from the fact that I don't care about Betty Boop.
Yeah.
This is this is in better hands than Mandalorian in the hands of
Filoni.
Not Filoni. Even the guy who directed Favreau. This is in better hands in my estimation.
Hold on, y'all. We're waiting for the Latino guy to come on. Latino slant. I don't care for him either. I'll get to why I have issues with him. But once he jumps on, things kind of get a little contentious.
Mandalorian in the hands of Favreau, who we all love, right? Apparently, in theory.
Yeah.
Understanding of why there's so much confusion. Okay, so like she was actually an adult when Betty Boop was made, but she was a child actress who had kind of, or performer, I should say, not actress.
Yeah.
Who had kind of faded away as she got older. So here's my problem and issue with them trying to claim that Betty Boop, and this is why there's a confusion. Because as somebody just pointed out earlier, I can't remember if it was Paul or Chris was going to point out, they did get sued.
Yep.
And what happened was they tried to claim, oh, no, it's not based on you. It's based on this other person. Here's the problem with that. Is she was famous when she was a child. Betty Boop is a flapper. Okay. In fact, that was her original name. Like, for anybody who knows, she's very set in a time period. Tell me the last time you've seen a Betty Boop anything.
Yeah.
You haven't, because there hasn't ever been one.
We don't care about all that, what you're talking about. Once again, we're just here to observe and report, not here to educate these mofos.
She's never done anything outside of the shorts, really, and little appearances like Roger Rabbit, because she's kind of like Hello Kitty.
Yeah, there you go. I was just thinking
women just love her on. She's a great little icon, but they don't stop to really think about what she fucking represents. And if you want to turn around and argue that she was based on somebody who was a child performer, then we're going to get into a whole nother level of shit, because let's be real here. Betty Boop was one of the most racy, I didn't say racist, racy. There's some racist cartoons of hers too. That's the other problem we could get into here. There's some very racy segments in the original Betty Boop. In fact, she flashes.
There's plenty of Betty Boop cartoons where she has no panties and she will flash the audience. Tell us something we don't know, sir. Tell us something we don't know. Once again, we're just here to observe and report. We're not here to educate these people.
It's the audience a couple times supposedly in history too. I don't know if you guys know this or not.
Yeah,
her dress falls down a lot.
Yeah, we know.
There's a lot of quick little moments. She's very sexually
Let's see if that's in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. People forget about what era she comes from and what she represents. That's
if you want to bring Betty Boop into the modern world for a modern audience, she needs to be an OF girl.
Right, or just have Macaulay Culkin say nothing happened between them.
Actually, now that I think about it, this is actually probably more true, because you just have her saying WAP.
And this is the other thing that
you see how they just how to twist and just reduce and minimize anything that they don't like if it doesn't pertain to them or if it offends them. You see how they just overreact to everything.
I don't think it's particularly relevant, but it is true to the era. Is that vaudeville? Everyone stole from everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think of the comedy acts, which is the thing that I'm most interested in. Oh my gosh, the variations on Who's on First that other comedy duos came up with on their own, but were basically copies of the original. I mean, there were hundreds. So it's part of the era.
Yeah.
Okay, before Latino Slant gets the run of his mouth, I remember watching Betty Boop video cartoons, and I never thought of her as a white woman. I always thought she was a white passing black woman, Creole, whatever you want to call her, right? Like, I used to watch this shit like, this ain't no... White women were not, you know what I'm saying? I get the whole flat break when they had the finger waves and shit, but I used to watch these cartoons. I'm like, this is not a white woman. I'm thinking she's a white passing Creole, or she's biracial, she's mixed. I never felt that she was a white woman watching this shit, right? I could be wrong. Maybe some of y'all thought she was a white woman. I was like, there ain't no white woman built like this. Even as a kid, I understood. Ain't no white women were not built like this.
No, stop that. Now be a good boy and go to sleep.
I can't speak for anybody else but myself. I used to watch this like, it wasn't a big deal to me, but I'm like, that's not a white woman. She got to be something else. She mixed with something. It's the whole Babe Ruth argument. Babe Ruth had nigger lips, right? People swore he was black or Melungeon, right? He's got something in him. He's not a purebred white. You thought of her as a white woman? Okay, that's cool. Yeah, wasn't no white woman built like Betty Boop. Yeah, I mean, she was... No. Now, I get what they're saying with the flapper era, right? White women with finger waves. Flapper era. The whole Dick Tracy era, like, I get it. But when I used to watch Betty Boop, I didn't think this was a white woman. I never thought that. I didn't get that, because I didn't see white women acting like that per se. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's get back to the observing report. Now we got Paulie Latino Slant. Now I can't fuck with dude, because now it's nothing personal against this dude. Like, he's a hardcore Mexican, Latino, I don't know what he was, he Latino or Mexican, whatever he claims. Like, you know, he's all about La Raza, And you know, that's his niche about all Mexican actors and actresses in Hollywood. Cool, that's cool little niche you got. Cool. I don't know. Me and him probably would not get along because it would eventually turn into you know, I guess who's better or whatever the case may be. But when somebody's right, I give them credit. And so let's listen to his take on the Betty Boop thing.
Morning, Paulie.
I think at the end of the day. Oh, Paulie, there he is. At the end of the day, here's what in a nutshell. Helen Kane,
he's Mexican. Okay.
Who the character was based on.
No, it wasn't.
Esther. Yes, it was.
Wasn't based on the
sir.
character.
Saw
Are
Esther.
you the one that brought this up this morning? I'm really curious.
No, baby.
No, I did.
Esther. No, I didn't.
We've been through this already.
I've even said you need to be on here, so give me a minute.
Well, I'm here.
Let me finish my thought.
Well, you've had like 20 minutes to finish your thought.
Who the animator based it on.
I only have a few couple of minutes.
Let me just say my statement.
Yep.
Helen Kane saw Esther perform in 1928. She probably borrowed the baby style from hits like I Want to Be Loved by You. When she later sued Fleischer, she was claiming Betty Boop stole her act. But she, in fact, borrowed from Baby Esther's act. So an argument can definitely be made that it originates all the way back to Babyface Esther. Or I don't remember her full name, but I
Baby Esther and Florence Mills. You must interject Florence Mills into the conversation because she is the progenitor of all of this. If Baby Esther does not see Florence Mills and imitates her performances, we don't have Helen Kane imitating Baby Esther's performance, and we don't have Max Fleischer seeing Helen Kane and backdooring her to not give her credit, right? So once again, another case of black folk being the sauce, being the wave, being the inventors of every goddamn thing. That's cool, okay? Once again, you cannot say Baby Esther without mentioning Florence Mills. Let's continue.
know that was her stage name, Babyface Esther. But at the end of the day, when the animator did say, we based it on Helen Kane, he wasn't trying to avoid saying, well, we didn't want to say we based it on a black girl. Of course not. It wasn't a racist thing. He was just saying, this is who we based it on, Helen Kane. And of course, Helen Kane, as I show in the picture right there, she was out there promoting herself as Betty Boop, but eventually, things went sideways. So go ahead, Paulie. I know you've got some comments you want to share, but no, I didn't bring this up. Paul did.
No, I don't think it was me, but whatever.
No, Dom took credit already.
I did.
Oh, oops. Sorry. Okay. Well, see, I don't even know.
It was the other bald white dude.
Yeah, the other one. Paulie, are you there?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, you had to take as well.
Yeah. No, listen, the reason why I'm coming in hot with Chris, because Chris was all over me last week because I dared to call this I actually said this was part of how Hollywood white swaps, whitewashes characters. And it does. And it's proven all the time. So that was it. And you came after me and like, all right, well, that's cool. I mean, it is my article. I mean, you can write your own article. And I base it off of sources. So
I even liked your article. I think I even retweeted it.
And in my article, I even said
this wasn't a whitewash in the same model of like what you were doing with Zorro. That was my take.
It's in the headline that I wrote it.
We're only here to observe and report. That's it. This exchange is almost done, and we're gonna move on to the next subject.
Comparisons where they are comparable and where they're not. I even said that. I even said where it's layered and where it's nuanced.
I'm gonna retweet myself, and it's in that thread, and anybody watching can go look at it and eat up and give you some more traffic, sir.
Oh no! Listen, I just said I used 3 examples: Zorro, Betty Boop, and Zapata. That's it. And each one was different. Andre knows the Zorro shit. Right. And this thing with Betty Boop is that, and Tom's right, this goes back to the jazz age. And at the end of the day, it all goes back to a black art form. That's it. Jazz was black.
Now, as much as I'm not a fan of Latino slant. He's right. When you're right, you're right. When you're right, you're right. Almost done.
It's no big deal. It is what it was. Fleischer and all of them, they all went to the jazz club to see Cab Calloway, Minnie the Moocher, Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, the creators of modern time. It was beautiful, and it's shared. And I even said that, right? Is that it's a great thing when culture and music is shared, and you get to pick and choose, like you said, people using shit. But at the end of the day, this was a real person. I'm curious to see if Quinta uses that and gets a little. Is she going to get meta, like where it's like Fleischer creates the character and the character comes to life? Be very interesting.
She's talented. I mean, and as Paul said, it's probably going to be very good because she's already got a funny series. The woman knows what she's doing.
Yeah, let's hope for the best here. It'll be
And
interesting.
all I said was
to see
it's
what
going
comes
to
up
be,
with.
and it's definitely going to be better than Velma. That was my take on the whole.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, but I mean, look, man. Listen, I respect you, but you like you said, you came after, which I try to never do with my co-host on Midnight Stage. You threw it out there on our little Twitter world that it's not a whitewash. That's like, yo, read the article. Does anyone read anymore? That like it's
Do you think I didn't read your article?
Well, Chris did.
Well, if you read the
retweet it,
article, you
everyone
know
can
that I
read it.
didn't say. I said in the world of Hollywood, what has Hollywood always done, particularly in those decades, is they whitewashed every origin. There's not. I mean, it's not a controversial. This is what it was.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is disagreeing with that historically.
Okay.
And if you read the article and disagree, that's cool too.
I don't think Elvis Presley stole anything from the black community.
Elvis Presley.
Lord Jesus. They can't help themselves. Do you understand? They can't listen. I'm an Elvis fan. Okay? Elvis was the first rock star. Y'all know I rock with Elvis, right? I'm a fan, but they can't help themselves. Let's go.
It's a whitewash.
Yeah.
I love Paulie. Paulie, I appreciate your stance. And to be fair, if you go back and watch the replay, I think I said 2 or 3 times, Paulie should be here because he has a take different from mine. I did say that. I respect you, pal.
I'm just juggling with Romy getting
He
back.
did say that. Yeah.
And we're gonna do some Memorial Day stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't even on here.
What are you doing today, Paulie?
Okay. That's it for this. We're only here to observe and report. There are many wars being fought on many different fronts. All I'm trying to do is just make you guys aware of what's being said in different spaces and different niches. That's it. That's all. Make of it what you will. Okay. That's all. That's all I'm here to do. Me, Jay, Eric. That's all we do is just listen. This is what they're saying over here. Just so you guys are aware. All right. Okay.